Hi, guys. Welcome to today's reading on what your toxic mother won't admit. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's a lot of confusion and there is a lot of, I tried something new and it didn't work. Okay. So for group one, we have smoky quartz and stepping stones. Group two, blue kyanite and soul companions. Group three, desert rose and fulfillment. And for group four, aquamarine and good luck. So go ahead, select your piles, and I will see you in the reading. Hi, group one. Okay, what your toxic mother won't admit. We have the smoky quartz and stepping stones. So first of all, I'm getting that your mother won't admit that she doesn't know. Um, and if you guys see my face right now, and even when I was pulling out these cards, like I had this expression of like disgust. It almost looks like it feels like disgust, but you know, when you don't understand something and you're kind of scrunching your face, like, what does that even mean? But in a kind of a rude way. So I don't know if you guys have had this experience where somebody says something to you and you actually don't know what it means, but then you assume that it's something bad. Um, and then you kind of give this like dirty look. um, so I feel with your mother, what she won't admit is that she doesn't know something or she doesn't understand something. And instead of, you know, saying like, I don't understand this or I don't know, she'll just kind of give like a dirty look and a nasty look and then assume that it's something bad. I don't even know if she's assuming that it's bad or she doesn't want to admit that she doesn't know. So she'd rather just react in a nasty way. And that's what I'm getting with Medusa, you know? She kind of gives that look like she turns things to stone. I guess that's part of the myth of her. And she'll just give it that one look and people who look at her, turn to stone. It's that type of look. You know, it's ugly. I know they say that Medusa was very ugly, but she was, I think, very pretty at one point and not sure what happened to her. But something happened. So I think that's one thing that your mother doesn't admit is when she doesn't know something. And it brings out a really nasty kind of version of her where, I don't know, just the look she gives is nasty. Look at this woman's vicious face. That's what I'm getting with how she looks. When she doesn't understand something, it's like there's a problem right away. And and that's also what I'm getting with skipping steps and stepping stones. Like there's skipping and there's stepping. So it's like she goes right there. She goes right there to kind of like just be, I don't know, it's kind of like bitchy with this Queen of Wands. And then it's interesting too, because I'm looking at her skin and it looks like she has some vitiligo or something. Um, and I'm getting this feeling of an insecurity. So even if somebody gives her a compliment or says something nice to her, um, for her, I don't know, maybe there's some type of insecurity, some physical insecurity that she has, maybe with her stomach or I don't know, her hair or something like that. Like Medusa had the really ugly hair. Um, or it was made out of snakes. So there's something that she thinks is really ugly about herself. And if somebody makes any type of comment on it, um, it brings out that anger, it brings out that rage, it brings out that really nasty look. So I'm assuming that your mom has, either the resting bitch face or just it can just come over her really, really quickly. Um, and with the snake too, I'm getting this feeling of, I don't know, just being like slippery and slithery and very sneaky. Um, yeah, and it's interesting too because we have you're going in the right direction and then luck is on your side. And again, I feel that there's something about her where it's like she's in a rush, like she just wants to get there. Um, I don't I don't know if she's a homebody as well. Like here it says longing for home, homesick for the stars. I'm just getting something of like wanting to go home. Um, like I mean physically get home. So like, say you're out with her, she just wants like, she doesn't wanna spend time outside, like, she just wants to go home, and I feel that she'll just kind of come up with different reasons as to why she just wants to go home. I don't know, I just feel like with her, she just has a lot like, she presents herself as someone who has a lot of rage and, on the outside, but then there's, like, insecurities with it, um, and then just being in a rush. With skipping steps, stepping stones, homesick. It's like being in a rush to get somewhere and then not being able to get there. Um, I don't know exactly what that even means. Um, it's like she's just in a rush. And I could just picture somebody, um, being in a rush in the morning and then forgetting a bunch of stuff. Um, and I'm also getting that she doesn't want to tell you, um, she doesn't want to tell you any details about anything, um, any information about why. I don't know. This is a weird reading. I don't know. I'm just getting this really rushed feeling, and with stepping stones, and then luck is on your side, and then skipping steps. It seems so contradictory. I feel really confused, and I think that's what I started saying at the beginning. There's a lot of confusion. It's like somebody who like with stepping stones, it's like you see things as stepping stones of how to get from point A to point B. And you know how some people will say, is that it's the journey, not the destination? I'm feeling like with your mother, a lot of it has to do with she's very focused on the destination. She's very focused on the outcome. And she's sort of willing to um, come across any way that she needs to come across in order to get her way, essentially. And that's what I'm getting with skipping steps as well. Instead of going through the process of things, she just wants to get there already. Like I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but um, you know how people need to have foreplay before they get intimate? Um, I just see that she's the type of person who doesn't want to do any foreplay, and like she doesn't even want to like have sex. She just wants to get to the end of it. And it's so random because I don't know why I'm getting these sexual things in here. Like It's like she doesn't enjoy things. I think that's what it is. She doesn't want to admit that she doesn't enjoy things. She doesn't enjoy the process. Even things that are very pleasurable to most people, you know, example, sex. No foreplay. She doesn't even enjoy the sex, okay? She just wants to get to the climax portion of it. Um, and I don't know, it just feels like she's just fighting stuff. She doesn't wanna admit that, um, like, I don't know, she's always just fighting something, um, because she just wants to get there. She wants to get to that place where she feels comfort, with longing for home. Um, it's like a very restless feeling. I think she's really restless, and she's also it's I don't yeah, I just don't think she'll ever admit that she's naturally unhappy, that she doesn't experience joy in things that most people experience joy. And I think that's where I'm getting the sexual reference, because even things that are supposed to be physically pleasurable, um, is not for her. And I keep talking about the stomach and the insecurity. So I'm feeling also too that she likes food. Um, Maybe that's a comfort for her. Um, yeah, with water too, it's like it's an emotional sort of comfort, for her. And you know, there's a lot of confusion here, because I don't even think that she's able to know anything. So, it's kind of like when I say doesn't want to admit, um, it's like there's nothing to admit, you know? I'm getting that feeling with these cards of there's nothing to admit. Um, and maybe that's from her perspective. Uh, it's like there's nothing to admit here. Um, I don't know. This is a weird reading, with lifting the veil. Everything unaligned must go, and then luck is on your side. You're going in the right direction. Um, Balance. None of this makes any sense. Um, this reading doesn't make any sense to me. I don't even feel like I can read it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this. I just feel like there's nothing to admit, like, you know, aside from the things that I've already said. Um, which sounds so weird. Like I'm thinking of the question, what your toxic mother won't admit. She won't admit that there's nothing to admit. That sounds really bizarre. Um, Maybe, oh, I just got it. Okay, I just got it. I just got it. If you guys made it to this part of the reading, I just got it. You know when someone is like really nasty and really bitchy, and you always want to wonder like why? Why is she like this? And like what happened? You want, but for her, it's like there's no reason for it. And when someone just has a chip on their shoulder, like um something up their ass, I forget the saying of that. Um you think that something happened to them. Think that uh they have some type of story. Like there's that saying where people will say, be nice to people because you never know, where they came from, what story they have. And I'm feeling like with your mother, there is no story. There's no story behind why. uh, it's I think that's what she doesn't want to admit, that there's no story. Like, she doesn't have a story as to why. Like, she does not know why she's like this. I think it's just really her way of going from point A to point B. And that's all I can really say about this. Um, and even with questioning everything, and how she's like opening up the curtains and everything unaligned must go. And then with skipping steps, it's like I'm feeling this thing of, instead of like going through the process, like I said before, she wants to skip that step. So she doesn't even know uh what it is. Like, she doesn't have a story that she can say, this is why. This is what's going on. And I'm sure, like, if you've ever tried to talk to her and you're wondering, like, okay, what's the story behind this? Like, what are the details as to why she's angry, or why she's rageful, why she gives these dirty looks? Like, why is she giving such a nasty, sort of disgusted attitude and expressions on her face? And she has not figured it out. She doesn't even know. She hasn't given it much thought. She doesn't want to go through the process, and there's no there's no story. She doesn't have a story. She doesn't have a reason for this. Um, she doesn't want to admit that she doesn't have a reason. And again, it's like a smoky quartz right here. It's all foggy. It's all smoky. And it was so hard for me to read this, um, because there's nothing to read. That's how I'm feeling. You know how people will say, "Oh, this person's really hard to read." Um, with your mother, it's like there's nothing to read, um, because she hasn't wanted to go through the process. She's just skipping the steps, and then she goes straight to this um, anger and this rage, or like, how if you've ever caught somebody red-handed, it's kinda narcissistic in a way, where they'll flip the script on you and then they'll get angry at you. But meanwhile, they have no reason to be angry at you, but they just approach things in that way. That's what I'm getting with your mother. Like, there's no reason. She doesn't know the reason. She doesn't know the reason. Um, Maybe she just kind of feels like I said, she feels like, things are sort of a stepping stone, like how to go from point A to point B. That's where, she feels like luck is on her side. You know, back in the day, like, I know nowadays, um, if you're rude to customer service people, they'll say, we don't serve you. If you cuss at us, if you, treat us like shit, we're not going to serve you. You're not going to get anything from us. Like, you have to treat people properly, whereas back in the day, it's that saying of the squeaky wheel, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that's what I get from your mom. It's just like a method of like, okay, if I flip out, if I throw a tantrum, then I'll get what I want, you know? And I think it used to work a lot in the past. And it was sort of like that stepping stone, like how to go from point A to point B, and then using this anger and these dirty looks and this nasty attitude to be able to get what she wants. And there's actually no reason for it outside of that. And there may be reasons, but she hasn't really went through the process, and she doesn't have a story. She doesn't have the information. Details are important. You're skipping steps. She doesn't have any details. She doesn't have any information as to why. There's no story as to why. There's nothing to read about her, even if she feels like, you know, she, there must be some story behind why she's this way. She doesn't have a story. She just doesn't. Um, it's it's there's nothing beneath the surface. Like, that's all I have to say. This is a really weird reading. I'm just gonna say that right now. I almost didn't even get it. And maybe that's how you guys feel, that it doesn't even make sense. It's there's nothing, because there's nothing there. There's nothing to admit, you know? Um, that's just what it is. And hopefully if this resonates with somebody out there. Let me know in the comments if it does. But yeah, so that's the reading group one, as to what she will not admit is that there's no reason and there's no story. And she hasn't even really looked into it. Um, you know, it's just a way for her to sort of um get what she wants, you know. It's kind of like a Karen type situation. Um, you know, people will ask, like, how does this affect you? Like, you know, what are you getting at? And there's absolutely no reason, um, for the most part. It's just there's no reason for it. So anyways, that's your reading group one. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Okay, hi group two. Those of you who picked this blue kyanite and soul companions, this is your reading on what your toxic mother won't admit. So first of all, I think she knows that she's stubborn. That's number one. When I laid these cards out, there was, there's six over here and there's four over here, and I usually put 5 and 5, but I just knew that six had to go up there and then four had to be down here. So I just getting this feeling of, um, it's like, well, you can just move over here, and then your mother is like, no, why should I? Why should I have to be the one to move, you know? And I'm getting that with it could be with her family, because I'm getting like a black sheep type of feeling as well, um, with her. And I don't, that's here what I'm getting with change. I don't think that she likes change whatsoever. And I don't think she wants to admit that she's a serious grudge holder. With this Four of Pentacles right here, it's like somebody like holding on to something, to the death of them. Like literally, the death is approaching and they're still holding on. And when you think about material things, like you can't take it with you, but she'll still hold on to it. Like, I don't know if she comes from a family where, like, I'm just getting a serious stinginess and not wanting to cooperate, not wanting to, not wanting to change anything, you know, not wanting to change anything to a point that it becomes cruel. And with that, it's like I think she knows that she's very resistant to change, and that she's a serious grudge holder. And I don't think she'll ever admit that, because I think it takes some type of humility. I almost said humiliation. I was going to say humility. Yeah, she sees it as humiliation to to admit to anything, to let go of something. It's kind of like the person, it's reminding me of a situation. So again, this is family. So this is definitely family, because this was a family member for me. So I hadn't talked to this person in quite some time, because of something they did, right? So it reached a point like I wasn't even holding a grudge. Like I kind of forgot about it, but I guess they were holding a grudge. So I saw them at like a family get together years later, and they just kind of had right off the bat like this very um distant attitude, like kind of like you could just catch the vibe was really off. So I just went in, I'm like, oh, it's been such a long time, like I missed you. Completely broke the ice because I'm not going to be in a situation where I feel uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, yeah, like, it's so good to see you," just completely switched up, and it was just a feeling of like, "Well, I'm not gonna be the one to apologize first. I'm not gonna be the one to give in. Here, step up and lead, in reverse." They don't wanna be the one to take the first step. Um, Important connections are building. Um, no, they'd rather hold a grudge, and it's to a point of, cruelty. Like, it's the cruelty card right here. But they don't see it as cruel, like, they see it as holding on to what's most important. I don't know, all these coins are like physical things. It's like if they'll just hold on to it to the death of them. And I think that they know that about themselves. Um, and then with shapeshifter too, it's like they're able to let something go, and switch up if someone else takes the lead on it. Um, and with the black sheep thing, I think this is why they do this, which is another thing they won't admit. I think being the black sheep in their family, um, made them made them reach a point where, they're kind of like, I'm tired of this shit and I'm going to hold a grudge and I'm not going to apologize first. It's like, say somebody, they came from a family where the silent treatment was done all the time. And then they reached a point where like, all right, well, you're gonna be giving me the silent treatment for the last time because guess what? I'm going to ignore you to the death of me. And I'm not going to give it in. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not the one that's going to be kissing ass over here. I'm not, because maybe at some point they felt like they had to do that in order to be accepted by the family. And now they they feel like they have to hold on to the death of them so someone else could give in because there's a level of humiliation, that they experience with being the first one to give in. And with the long game in reverse, I'm getting that. I don't know, I'm getting it in two ways. I'm getting that they don't they don't want to look at things from a long-term basis in terms of, when people will say, you should just like forgive your mother, you should just forgive this person because, we can die at any time, you know death comes at any time. um but for them, they don't care. Like, they'll probably say something like, well, I can die at any time, so let them come and apologize to me, and they don't want to put in any work or effort. Um, yeah, indolence. They don't want to put in any work or effort into building connections up. I definitely think that this has something to do with being the black sheep and, maybe having to, uh, feeling left out, feeling like there was something wrong with them, having to kiss ass, putting in so much effort to be loved, and now they don't want to put in any effort, to build these connections, even to an extent where like they're like, I don't care if this is cruel, like I'm not giving in. And maybe it was because they felt like people were cruel to them in the past and they were always the one to give in. So, you know or like they've experienced like those types of feelings of, like, this is so painful and it's so cruel, like, how can you do this, and so that's made them really stubborn, and resistant to change, um even if it's small things, even if it's tiny things of like moving this. Can you just move this over here? Nope. I'm not changing. I'm not going to budge. I'm going to stay as I am. And it doesn't matter if, death approaches. I can see this being as somebody like seeing this as somebody who, it'll be on someone's deathbed and they still won't do it. Um, just in case that person survives. I just thought of that. That's the type of thing that they'll be thinking, you know? Like, yeah, we don't know if they're gonna die for real. They might survive and I'll be the one to have given it. So that's like how um their toxicity presents itself. But I think deep down, um, they won't ever admit, like, I think the cruelty that they've encountered, and how many times they've had to put up with stuff that now they don't want to make any effort. And it is what it is. And that they'll hold things to the death of them. Whether they say it or not, I think that their actions show it. Um, and it is a little bit short sighted. I think that they know that it is, um, to think this way, because now I'm thinking about when people, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I can't even think of what I was going to say. I think that that relates to the short term, mm, the short termedness of the way, that they think. They just look at the short term, which is I'm holding on to this, and and they won't admit that they don't really get any pleasure from doing this. They just feel like they have to do it that way. Um, and I think with this blue kyanite and shapeshifter, I think that they change the way that they speak, um, to people, and they don't actually feel that way on the inside. Like, because now I just got a really soft feeling of, this person is actually, like, your mother is actually, like, softer on the inside than how she presents herself. Um, but she just knows that she doesn't want to make the effort to take the lead on, any sort of like reconciliations or making things better. Um, and that's an ego thing. When the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. And I'm telling you right now, my mind is like, I don't know, I'm getting this feeling of like my mind is very like choppy, and like there's a level of confusion with this. Um like I was going to see something and then I don't have it, and then you know, I don't know. And it felt really important. It felt really really important, and it's with this card, the utter madness and the ego and trying to control. And this four of pentacles is a way of controlling things. Um or exerting control, um, because nobody can tell you to let go of something. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, maybe in situations where, like, you can't help being the black sheep of the family, but what you can do is to hold on to the control and not forgive, and not be the one to try and make things better, and to take sort of any measures to let someone know that you don't care about them. This is like, I just heard like her saying, this person could be dying on the street and I will just step over their dead body. Like, that's how harsh and cruel that it comes across. But it's it's really it's really about like the cruelty that they've faced, and these tactics being something that's worked for them in the past. Like, I'm getting this breaking the cycle sort of thing, where this is what they had to do to get respect from people. This is what they had to do to let people know that, they can be fine without them, like their family. Um, like, I can be fine without you. I don't need you. And I'm going to show you that. And I'm not going to talk to you guys um, until you come and talk to me and make it right with me. And then I will. Yeah, it's just really about this is how they feel like they're going to get respect. This is how they don't, like I said, they feel humiliated to have to be the one to run back. And so even still, I'm still getting them to as holding on to this grudge. Even if somebody does sort of step up to make um, their relationships better or the relationship between them better, um, they will still hold on to it. I'm getting I'm getting as a consequence. I was gonna say punishment, but it's not a punishment. So as an example, say somebody does something to you and then they come and apologize and they sort of take the lead on take the initiative. And then, maybe so many times they've experienced it where, and of course, this is not what they're going to say, but they've experienced it so many times where, um, they've let something go and been the one to give in, and I feel it was just, like, for the purpose of, like, getting love or, feeling you know, no one wants to be the black sheep. Nobody wants to be, the person that is on the outskirts of the family, and I think because of that, they've let a lot of things slide with people, and been so forgiving, so then now when somebody wants to sort of take the lead with them as well and to make things right, they won't ease up. They won't ease up because they feel that it's not a punishment, but they feel like people should endure the consequence. So then that way they know that I'm serious, regardless of how cruel that may be. So that's sort of like their mindset about things. Um, Yeah. Like, and but then at the same time, like I am getting like that soft feeling as well, you know? I think they don't ever want to admit to like how sort of soft they are on the inside. And I when I say soft, like I'm getting like I don't know, like the tough exterior, but the softness on the inside. Um it's like a marshmallow inside, but then I'm feeling like a callus that's had to build over, because something's been injured so many times that it's just become calloused. And that's what I'm getting with cruelty as well. So, yeah, like, I think that is what they won't admit, um, like, why they hold on to things as much as they do. Um Regardless of sort of how crazy or insignificant it is that they stay sort of stubborn, to the death of them, it comes from, like, being really calloused, and, at some point having a really soft center and, wanting love and affection from, back in the day where they were somehow feeling like the black sheep. And now they're not going to let stuff go. There's always going to be, I won't say a punishment, but a consequence for things. Um, yeah, yeah. So I don't think it's necessarily ego based. It's just with being calloused. And even when I say that, I'm still like my main focus this whole reading is over here. Um, and I lost my train of thought again. And I think the reason I keep losing my train of thought is because, like I said, like I don't think this is a situation where with long game right now is like I just heard like long memory. Um, it's almost like the memory has faded of all this stuff, but they still holding on to the lesson because like I said, like when something's callous, like it doesn't hurt you anymore. So it's like they've let go of the pain of it. But this is who they are now. It's reminding me of when someone says it's not that they broke my heart, they broke my mind, and it really changed me, this heartbreak. It's not a regular heartbreak. It's changed them mentally. So I don't I think that's the sort of thing that they won't ever admit, is how soft they were on the inside once upon a time, and why they behave in ways that come across really cruel. Because, you know, like, it's transformed them into the person they are now. Um, and they intend to stay that way to the death of them, which sounds intense and crazy, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Um, I'm looking at this tiger. Like, I'm thinking of them thinking, like, this is my nature now. Um, I have to hunt prey. Like, it's, eat or be eaten. I'd rather be the king of the jungle, um, you know, sort of thing, than be the one who's preyed upon. And that's how they view it. And I think that they certainly felt like they were prey, when they were in their younger years, and they were the black sheep. And I just heard scapegoat as well. I think they were scapegoated a lot. Um, so they're able to switch up with shape shifter, or they did switch up into this person that can seem like they're extremely cruel, um, and punishing. But from their perspective, they don't see it as punishment. They see it as a consequence that the other person has to endure. So then that way they actually learn, um, that they won't be the person to make the effort to do the things to rectify. Um, it's got to be the other way around. And I just got this feeling of like they're dead serious about this, because I'm seeing this tiger and then I'm seeing this skeleton, and I'm feeling this thing of like I will it's like eating something until they're all bones. I don't know what that means, but like the feeling I'm getting with that is that's the cruelty. It's like I will eat you until you're all bones. Yeah. And then I won't make an effort to fix it. So anyways, that's the reading, group 2. Oh, by the way, when I was laying out these cards, if you made it to this part in the reading, check out group 4, because I kept hearing group 4. So, all right, that's your reading, guys. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Okay, hi, group 3. Those of you who picked this Desert Rose and Fulfillment, this is your reading, what your toxic mother won't admit. So as I was going through the cards or shuffling the cards, I thought of group 1, so do check it out. Just in doing a quick glance at these cards, I don't feel that it's related to group 1, but it might be. That's for you to decide. But okay, so let's get started. I feel this is a pretty easy read. Um, we have detective, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth, which is interesting because right below it is the hermit in reverse, which is, it's kind of interesting. It's the opposite, but it's not. So you would think with the hermit in reverse, it's someone who's not seeking truth, or not looking inward, and reflecting, or with this lantern, it's a symbol of wisdom. But a detective is someone who is kind of doing it, but in an outwardly way to the people around them, the things around them. It's a book. It's like learning about something out there, a desire to seek out the truth. So one is turned inward. It's not inward for her, it's more outward. You know, and then there's fulfillment, visualize what's next. And you know, I don't know. This is a little bit sad. I don't know. I feel a little bit sad, but that's the energy, is the kind of a sad energy. I'm getting that, you know, first of all, don't judge a book by its cover. That's what I'm getting of, your perception of what is going on with your mother. I think on the cover, um, she may appear a certain way. Um, but what I'm getting from this reading is more so that, with new beginning in a reverse and the sun in reverse. So with new beginning, it's like she doesn't know how to start new, to turn a new leaf, you know? Definitely unhappy with the sun in reverse. Um, and just not sure, be decisive and be quick, like very unsure of the next step, like what she should do. Um, and when I first looked at this reading, it was just completely clear. But now that I'm in the energy of it, it's a very indecisive, very unclear, very confused type of energy. It's like she wants to surrender. Like with this, I'm getting a surrender. Um, Usually with this Seven of Wands, it's somebody that's fighting off so many things that they feel is coming at them. But in this card, you can see him praying, like surrendering. Um, and I'm feeling like she wants to surrender, but she doesn't know how to make it happen with new beginnings in reverse. Um, and same with this Four of Cups, you know, like she's not seeing the opportunity, that other cup, to go ahead and start something new or to take that step, you know? Um, and that's what I'm getting with the fulfillment card. It's like she desires for that to be what's next for her. But with expansiveness in reverse, I'm getting that there's something so restricted within her. And I'm getting the Eight of Swords in my mind, where it's not being able to see how something will happen or how something will play out, or like it's like being mentally limited, um and so instead of like making any type of step, because that's what I'm getting with the Eight of Swords in my head. It's like being so stuck. And, when you're stuck, sometimes you just have to do any type of step just to get out of that unstuck energy so things can start moving. Like she will go into this detective mode, like just watching and observing and trying to figure it out. But not by going inward, but by just watching and just observing, you know? And I think she feels like she's probably screwed up a lot of things, because we have this card here: use fire with care and water with impunity. Fire, like anger, is powerful but unpredictable and can cause lasting damage among the vanquished. Water, which shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows, soothes the argument and slowly, without destroying the opponent, turns them toward your point of view. While fire can deliver victory, water delivers increased strength. So I think that's a concept that she's kind of struggling with. Um, is is how can I make this better? How can I soothe this situation? How can I get this person to see my point of view? And here with visualize, it's like she's trying to visualize how that's going to come about, but she's not able to. Um, so then instead she's just watching. She's just watching. And so like that's the part I feel like she doesn't want you to know, is that she does want to make it better, but she doesn't know how. And I think there's been a lot of fire with her. Like, and a lot of manipulation, a lot of those sorts of things. Like these cards come from the Art of War deck. So again, so she still wants to be in this art of war methodology, right? So it's same with like watching your opponent. So it's almost like she's still using the same tactics, but her intention is to try and make it better. That's what I'm getting. And but she just doesn't see how, and she doesn't know how, except for use her tried and true methods that she's always sort of had. Like she doesn't know how to, with this desert rose is like, it's like she doesn't know how to like cleanse all this old stuff out, with expansiveness in reverse, like how to expand beyond her art of war strategies. But she doesn't know how to start again with using water versus using fire, um, to deal with people. Um, and there is a part of her that really wants to surrender, and she does not know how. Divine Source in reverse, help me to know that all my deepest needs will be met. Let me trust that you have a plan and the right actions will come. You are my source for all. Yeah, she doesn't even know how to fix this, and she doesn't know how to go with the flow and let things happen. Like she's still trying to, that saying, you can't use, I think it was, I don't know if it was Albert Einstein. You can't use the same um mindset. Don't quote me. You can't use the same mindset that caused the problem to find the solution. Like you got to step out of it. And I think that's the part that she can't see. Like it's like she wants to feel fulfilled. She wants to start over. She wants things to be better, but she doesn't know how, and she's not being able to see it even with this. And like she's disappointed with it, but she doesn't want to look at herself. She thinks that she needs to look at other people and study them and observe them. So then she can come up with a strategy or an art of war, where she can show care. Like, so she can still achieve the aims that she wants, but using the old methods of strategizing and manipulation and um, like I'm thinking of a relationship right now, like between like a man and a woman, and one one person says, "I just want you to be honest with me," um, and then the other person is like, "Okay, like how can I?" Or I want you to let me know how you feel. So they're still like not really expressing how they feel, but they're mentally strategizing how that they can express like how they feel. Like I don't know. Do you get what I mean? It's just they're just not capable of doing it in the way that you would want. Um yeah, like they just don't know how. They don't know how to do it. Um so that's part of the strategy, I think is either I use fire, I get angry, or I take a more soothing and um appealing type of approach, but it's ultimately like they don't know how to do it, and they're still trying to figure out how to go about it because they don't know how to start on a clean slate. I think they also want to start on a clean slate, um, but they just don't see how outside of their usual paradigm of how they operate and what they do. Um, like they know that they want to change up their approach or the way that they come across, but their approach is still the same. So I think that's the part that they won't admit, is that they don't know how to start over, and they're spending a lot of time watching. They watch people to figure out how to strategize or use this sort of art of war manipulative tactic in order to make things better. But it's hard for them to move forward because they're so indecisive and so unsure. It's like when you first start something, like you kind of don't know what you're doing. So when you first start, I don't know, any type of activity, you don't know and you're uncertain and you're unsure. Um, yeah. And I'm also feeling that they're envious of people who are able to get what they want through being nice. Okay, so now I'm starting to see how this ties into group one. They're envious of people who are able to do things by being nice because they've usually had to use anger and other methods to get someone else to maybe not necessarily see what they're saying, but to look at their point of view or to be heard. It's like, you know, when people will say, that they'll yell when they're frustrated and they feel like they're not being heard and they'll get angry and then maybe it's worked so now they are heard, so they've kind of been trained to keep going about it in that same way, but they're noticing that there's other people who can be heard um, while being loving and gentle and sweet, and doing it at the right timing, you know uh sort of in that way. And I think they are envious of that because they want to like surrender. I feel like they don't want to fight anymore, they don't want to be in battles anymore, they don't want to be unhappy, they want to feel more fulfilled, but they don't know how to do it because they haven't really looked inward to figure out um like a deeper part of themselves. um so they're trying to figure out how to do it using their old paradigm. And I think it's going to be very difficult for them. But yeah, they do want it and they are trying, but they just don't know how. Because again, you can't solve a problem using the same mindset that created the problem to begin with. And I think the solution is this hermit card of like self reflection and all that stuff to sort of undo um, what's led them to go about it this way, to begin with, their old method. um yeah, because I just keep hearing unlearning. So you have to unlearn what you've thought that you knew before you can start learning in the direction of what you want to move into. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting with what she won't admit is that she wishes she was better at getting her point of view across, um, in how she deals with people, in resolving issues. Like she doesn't want to be fighting. Um, she doesn't want to be unhappy. She doesn't want to feel so restricted and limited with her toolbox. I think she knows that, and that she doesn't want to be judged with how she is on the outside. Don't judge. She doesn't want to be judged by other people for the way that she expresses herself. Just her exterior, she doesn't want to be judged for that. And she just doesn't know how to fix it or change it. Because I'm almost getting with this hermit in reverse is like she hasn't even thought of it. Like she hasn't even visualized or imagined, like she's just not able to see how it can be different. um yeah. And I don't know, I also think is too like she wants reassurance. Maybe she's not getting reassurance with you're going in the right direction, and with this indecisive, be decisive and quick. Like maybe she tries to move slowly with being more gentle or like, but she doesn't know if she's doing it right and she doesn't know if she's moving in the right direction. Like it almost feels like she wants things to be done quickly or she wants results quickly, and that's also what I'm getting with the hermit in reverse. Because the hermit takes time and solitude to figure things out, but she wants feedback quickly. Um, it's kind of like the person who started a diet 2 days ago and already wants to have lost 10 pounds, or someone who just started working out and they wanna be super fit already. Um, Somebody who, you told them, "I really need this from you," and they'll this reminds me of, my ex-boyfriend, actually. Like, I don't even remember what I was telling him was an issue, and we got into an argument, and he's like, "I've been doing everything that I can, of the things that you said." And I was like, for freaking 2 days. It's been 2 days. And then we just broke out laughing. But yeah, like they'll do something for 2 days and feel like it's been an eternity. But I guess they just need some reassurance, like, yeah, you're doing good, you're going in the right direction, this is working, because they're lost. Like, I feel like they're lost and they don't know. But yeah, I guess that's what they don't want to admit, is like they're lost. Um, what did I say at the very start of at the beginning of this video is I tried it and it didn't work. I think I think that's also another thing. I think they feel like they've tried things and it didn't work. But it's not that it didn't work. They didn't give enough time, and they didn't get the reassurance that they were going in the right direction. Um because they need it. It's kind of like a kid, with the unlearning and learning. It's like a kid when they learn, like they want to know, they want to be validated. They want to know that they're doing it right, and that's what I'm getting with your mother. She wants to know. So anyways, that's your reading, group 3. If you liked the video and the message, please leave a comment, a like, and subscribe. Take care, guys. Bye. Okay, hi, group 4. Welcome to your reading on what your toxic mother won't admit. So, you guys actually selected this good luck card, but there were so many cards here that came up, so it doesn't fit. And so, to me, that means your mother um, does not, I don't want to say she doesn't want to rely on good luck. She just doesn't want to take a chance. She doesn't believe in taking action that is based on chance. Here we have be steadfast, fortify your mindset, in reverse, right? So she she doesn't want to stick to something consistently until it works out, because she's unsure that it will work out, you know? Um, with forgiveness in the third house, I'm getting, okay, so it's within the next few months. I don't know. I think there's going to be an opportunity in the next few months where she will attempt to seek forgiveness. But with this 6 of Pentacles, I'm getting like she's depending on it. She's really depending on your forgiveness. Um, I think that's what she doesn't want to admit to. She's depending on you to forgive her. Like, it's like something happened where, I don't know, there's something with communication and being dependent on you to forgive her. Um, or maybe she's like, this all depends on if you forgive her or not. But it's like she wants a guarantee that you will in order for her to stay the course. Like, I'm getting the feeling of somebody who doesn't want to stick to something unless it's guaranteed. Like, I don't know, having a business or something. If I know I'm going to be successful, I'll stick with it. If there's uncertainty with it, then, and I'm just trying out my luck, like I'm rolling the dice. Um, why should I work hard if it's not guaranteed? Um, yeah. And then we have success here, and then be steadfast in reverse. It's like she wants to be able to communicate with you, to seek your forgiveness, and she's depending on it, but she doesn't want to be persistent with it because she's not sure it's gonna happen. With foundations in reverse and the 10 of cups in reverse, and then hidden beauty in reverse. I hate these readings where I feel like I don't get it. And it's it's not that I don't get it. It's just that this is the energy of your mother. Like she feels like she doesn't get it. Like she does not get why. She doesn't get why she has to beg. Like you see this person begging. It's like I don't get why I have to beg for forgiveness. Like why can't I just be forgiven? Um I don't know. It's just like kind of so anyway, she won't admit that she wants to be forgiven. She wants to talk to you about it. Maybe it'll come up in the next couple months. Maybe she's planning it. She wants a guarantee that you will forgive her. She does not want it to be based on like a chance or a luck type situation. She wants to be certain that you will. Um, and that's what I'm getting with transition. Like she wants to move into, and I just got something about actually moving. I don't know. Yeah, I got something about actually moving with transition in the third house. And then depending on you. Like there's something where she's depending on you to forgive her. And it's something tangible, it's something physical. It's something where there's a level of, I don't want to say hierarchy, but where now she's in a position where she has to receive something from you. It's kind of giving me when parents get older and they need help, um and now it's your turn to help her and she's depending on you. It's something like that. And it's something that's coming up in the next few months, and I'm getting that she wants to start communicating with you um so that she can be forgiven for something. And I guess that's what she doesn't want to admit, that there's something about depending on you, but then feeling like she has to beg. And then she's kind of at your mercy, like, or she will be at your mercy. With good luck, it's like I could just picture you saying, "Okay, well, good luck with that," you know? Um like her saying, "Oh, I'm struggling," because it's like I'm getting an indirect feeling of, "Oh, I'm really struggling with this and with that, and I kind of need help," and not being so direct, and then you saying, "Okay, well, good luck with that. Like I hope that works out for you." Um but really, she won't admit that she needs help and that she's depending on you, and she's depending on you to forgive her. And she wants to communicate that with you. Um, and so, from group two, I was sending people over to group four because I kept getting um, group four and group two. And what's so strange about it is there was some sexual element. Oh no, maybe it wasn't group 2. I don't know. There's some sexual element in another one of the readings, and here we have tantric journey. Um, I don't know. There's something, and this is 6, and that's 6. Something about the past. Something about the past. Mm. There's some miscellaneous things. Because I'm looking at this aquamarine now. There's some like miscellaneous things that she's gonna want you to give her. Because now I'm seeing give, and then I'm seeing this person. giving. And this is like miscellaneous. I just feel like it's just there. I was going to tie it to group 2, but it's actually, I don't even think it came from group 2. It's just miscellaneous. It's just there. Um, there's going to be some miscellaneous random things that she knows she's going to need help with. And, you know, I don't know, like she just really wants things to work out in her favor because she's going to be dependent on you. Or maybe this is something that it's not even necessarily within this 6 months and I just heard within the 6 months. I don't know where I got 6 from. Oh, because the number 6. So for some of you guys, this is going to be within 6 months. And others, it's that she just is anticipating at some point she's going to need you and she's going to need your help. And she's worried that you're just going to give her either okay, well, good luck with that, or, okay, well, I'll give you the bare minimum. Like, I'll give you crumbs, I'll give you enough to sustain you or keep you alive. But certainly, there's a level of justice here with the scales. It's like, I'll give you what you've given me. And I think that's why she wants your forgiveness. Not why, but it's kind of like a beggar. It's like, "Oh, please help me. Please forgive me. Like, I need you now." Um, and I think that's what she's not wanting to admit is is that she will need you. And she will have to depend on you. Um, and she wants you to be there like consistently. Now that's what I'm getting with be steadfast. Like she wants you to consistently be there. Um, and she wants like this change in your relationship, particularly in how you guys communicate with each other. I keep getting that with the third house and this throat chakra, where I don't know, she has this nice piece of jewelry by her neck or her throat, and I'm getting that there's something with like communicating like really nicely and more. I'm getting like more beautifully, because she wants more. She wants more than these crumbs. Um, because she's depending on it. And I just heard like Social Security or ODSP. I live in Ontario, like disability payments. And maybe that's not enough. So maybe that's it for some of you guys. She's starting to feel disabled, or maybe she's becoming elderly. But it's something where I feel that her foundation has been shaken. Um, yeah, like her foundation's been shaken. Um, and also another thing too, I don't know why I kept getting this feeling about work and employment. Like it was coming up in the other reading. Um, but then I completely forgot about it and it's coming up again. So maybe there's going to be something that she knows is going to progress to something worse, and she won't be able to have, because I'm getting the root, like a sense of stability or security. um and it's like, that's just the luck of the draw. Like that's what I'm getting with this too. So either she knows that she's going to need to depend on you, because there's some disability or something that's progressively getting worse, and that's going to affect like her employability. Maybe she'll be unable to like take care of herself, because with success under this like unstable foundation. But then, oh, okay, there's an unstable foundation. I think it could be monetary. It could be something with having to move. It could be anything around that. But she thinks that she could be more successful in making this transition. So again, this has to do with a transition, into a moving, into a retirement, into a disability status, or like it's like a transition in her life where she wants it to go more smoothly. Because it may not be any of those things. It's some type of transition where she wants it to go smoothly, but she's needing to depend on you for that. Um, and I just heard, like, you're the missing piece. Like, you see how I don't know, I'm seeing this, like, as a slice of pizza, um, and, like, this piece is missing for it to be whole. Like, there's something missing, um, for it to be whole, and now I'm not even thinking about, um needing help and depending on you. I'm just getting something like in her heart feels like there's something missing in order for it to be whole. Um, and then I'm seeing intrinsically, I think, and then hidden beauty. I don't know, like I'm just getting this feeling now of something missing, like intrinsic to her. Like when I don't want to use the words like specifically, but it's like that innate feeling that there is something missing. It's that internal like knowing like there's something missing. Um, and she won't admit that she knows that there's something missing. Like, and I think it could be in what she gave you because now I'm looking at the scales and justice. Um, maybe she also won't admit that. So I'm getting like with fortune or like her luck. Like maybe she felt like she was unlucky at some point and she wasn't able to give. Like I don't know, I'm starting to feel an entitlement now cuz it's like, well, or like not entitlement but explaining or like a justification. It's like, well, I never had this growing up. I never had that and I still so I didn't have this to give you. I this was missing. I I didn't grow up privileged with good luck, with fortune. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with this and that. And so I could only give you very little. Or I had you really young. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the tools. So I couldn't give you a lot. So there was something missing. Mm, now I'm getting like the nice communication and hidden beauty. Mm. I don't know. I can't speak much on this hidden beauty, but this is just a nice energy, these two together with forgiveness and hidden beauty. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I feel like your mom doesn't know what to say about it. But there's something innate or something within her, like, and I you know how people will say, like, or mothers will say, like, "Oh, you'll never know how much a mother loves her child." Like, it's just from the moment they're born. It's like there's something innate in you as a mother that loves your child. And then with hidden beauty, I'm getting that. I don't know. It's just something like really hidden. Either it's something that's hidden and it never came out or came to be that, or something that she keeps within herself. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Or like a wish. There's like a wish. Yeah, there's a wish for her to unlock this piece in your heart that will have her forgiven. Yeah, because anyways, there's a transition that's happening with her. Um, and she knows that. And maybe you're gonna find out about this within the next few months, within 6 months. And others, it will be at some point, probably sooner than later. So, I think that's definitely what she has going on, which she won't admit is there's a lot of things coming. She's going through a transitional period. Um, she knows it may not be fair that she'll be asking of you like forgiveness or but she will be depending on you and she wants more than just the bare minimum. And I think there will be some level of not necessarily wanting to beg, but to justify or to w- like what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, like, you know, when someone says, I did the best I could, I gave you everything that I could, and that was just the best that I can do. So now I want you to do the best that you can do for me. And then that's a level of fairness. You know, I'm just thinking of tax right now. Like, you know how tax is like based on a graduated system. So if you are within a certain tax bracket, you pay the least amount of tax, whereas as your income, is higher, you may have to pay, 45% tax. Um, and it's considered a fair system because you're being taxed at your ability to pay. And that's what I'm getting with her and the basis for her to ask for forgiveness. Like using that type of explanation or philosophy. You know, it's like when you go to, a yoga karma class, like pay what you can. Some people pay more because they can afford it and others don't. Um, but anyway, I'm getting more about just like these side miscellaneous things. So I think they're a little bit off topic from the subject. But yeah, that's definitely what I'm getting with what she won't admit. That there is a lot that is changing. There's a lot that's changing with transitions, and I don't know. She's hoping that you're going to be there to help her. Um, and I just heard like, what's in it for me? Mm. Yeah, I'll leave that with you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching till the end if you made it all the way here. I hope this reading was helpful. If you liked it, please like and please leave a comment and subscribe. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.